Starting off, I just want to say I would personally, in my rankings, rank Damian Lillard the best Blazer of all time. However, I'm taking...
Welcome to From the Logo. Our subscriber base has been steadily growing the last few weeks thanks to everyone who's joined us. This week, we'll be drafting our all-time Blazers rosters. We randomized the draft order before the show. Colton will be going number 1. I'll be number 2.
You aren't ready for my team.
I'll be number 2. And Riley will be number 3. But we'll use a snake draft order after that. So after the first round, Riley will be number 1. I'll be number 2. Colton will be number 3. Once a player has been selected, they're off the board and not eligible to be drafted again. And there's no trades. So with that, Colton, you are on the clock.
Starting off, I just want to say I would personally, in my rankings, rank Damian Lillard the best Blazer of all time. However... I'm taking Clyde Drexler, number 1 in the Blazer draft.
I know who I'm taking now.
Big love for Clyde.
Just for team building purposes, Clyde positionally is a bigger player. Obviously, Dame has done so much for the franchise in the city, and he's number 1 in my mind for greatest Blazer. Just for overall team balance, I like the point guard depth that the Blazers have over the years. And so I'm going to take Clyde.
I'm taking Dame. I think you said all that needed to be said. Greatest Blazer of all time. I'm happy to build my team around him.
Dame would have been my pick as well. But I am happy to take at shooting guard Mr. Brandon Roy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
Brandon was, one of my first loves as a Trailblazer fan. Really brought me back to the team. And if we're not really counting health so much, we're just thinking about what they, could have been
Their
in their
peak,
prime, their
yeah.
peak player. I mean, yeah. Brandon Roy was phenomenal for the Blazers. Did things that no one did again until Dame.
This is going to get a little bit tougher now that the big names are out of the way.
Well, good thing Riley gets to go back to back and stack his team, huh?
Yeah. So in that case, this one might be a bit of a surprise, but I think I'm going to go ahead and take Arvydas Sabonis at center.
Wow, that is a big surprise.
I think he...
Reach! No, I'm just
if
kidding.
you're looking at, their peak performance, Arvydas is one of the best talent players that we've had, and he would have been like a Jokic if he had been in today's game,
Are we looking at their Blazer peak or their overall peak? Because if it's their overall peak,
Yeah.
I like
I
the pick.
agree with that. Blazers peak, he was a little bit...
On the
He was a little
tail end.
past his prime.
He was on the tail end. He was still good. Very good.
He'd already
Yeah.
blown out his knee.
He
He still was dominant on the Blazers,
he
or
was,
at
he was
least
dominant. And I mean, he
very good.
talking about my early love of watching the Blazers. I mean, watching the things that guy was able to do with the basketball. I didn't really see it again until Jokic.
I think I gotta go Bill Walton. Speaking of injuries, but I mean,
Dang it! I was hoping he would somehow fall.
maybe the highest peak that any Blazers ever had with winning a championship. If he wouldn't have gotten hurt, who knows how many more he could have won. So yeah, I'm liking the looks of my team so far.
He was probably our greatest winner, Bill Walton.
That team, if he wouldn't have got hurt the next season going in, they had an absurd record.
Yeah, they did.
Going into 78, and he unfortunately got hurt and he wasn't the same again. But yeah,
I like
quite
the Bill
peak.
Walton, Damian Lillard pick and roll
Yeah,
combination.
that's tough. I didn't think Riley was going to pass on Bill Walton twice. I've got a couple options I've been looking at here. The Blazers have a very deep history of great power forwards. And because this is kind of a flexible lineup, we can kind of fit power forwards and centers in there as well.
Small ball if you want, bro.
I think with the next pick, I'm going to have to take LaMarcus Aldridge.
I thought about
solid pick.
That's a solid pick.
He definitely would have
Obviously-
been next on my board if you missed him.
Obviously, the longevity with him, he could have stayed and cemented himself as an even bigger great in his Blazers career. He didn't do that, and that's okay. He was a free agent. He chose to leave. Obviously, it hurt when it happened.
Chose to betray us.
But you can't deny what the man did when he was playing for the Blazers. He was supposed to be that third banana behind Roy and Odin, but as they crumbled, he rose.
Are you drafting first quarter LaMarcus Aldridge or fourth quarter LaMarcus Aldridge?
I'm drafting LaMarcus Aldridge, who against the Rockets in the playoffs had 48 and
the first
20
two games. The first 2 games Aldridge, or the second?
I mean,
3 games?
you can hate on Aldridge all you want to prop your roster up, but he had dominant games. As part of
The only point
organization.
I'm making is Marcus, he was definitely like a front runner. When things got tough, he crumbled almost every time.
I don't know. I think he's among the most talented players to ever put on a Blazer
Agreed.
uniform.
Talented, absolutely. Yeah.
With my next pick, Clyde Drexler or Marcus Aldridge, I really like how my core looks so far. I'm going to take Clyde Drexler's backcourt mate, Terry Porter. Obviously, that backcourt of Clyde Drexler and Terry Porter, I mean, look at the peaks they rose to. It took Michael Jordan's Bulls to stop them. I mean, Detroit as well, but they made 2 finals as that backcourt. We know it works well. They've got defense, they've got offense. Terry Porter, second greatest point guard in the Blazers uniform.
I think he was kind of ahead of his time a little bit.
With the threes.
He would have been maybe even better in this generation.
Yeah, and so I just love that the way that they played together, and it's undeniable that, in my opinion, he is the second best point guard on the Blazers ever.
With my next pick, Rasheed Wallace, a power forward.
Yeah, that would have been my next pick.
Yeah, I'll take the technicals. I'll take the whack it out.
It's a good pick.
Power forward. With the front court of Bill Walton, Rasheed Wallace, Damian Lillard anchor in the backcourt.
All right, well, in that case, I think at power forward, I have to go ahead and take Buck Williams. Brought a lot of toughness to the game, was able to do a lot defensively. I think, actually, if we're looking at building a team, him and Sabonis would have been very...
Complemented each
yeah,
other
they would have
well.
complemented each other because...
Thunder and lightning.
Yeah. Arvidas had the grace and the finesse, but Buck Williams would have brought a lot of toughness and
Totally.
some serious stopping ability.
Yeah.
Totally.
I will take at point guard. You have to go down the list a little bit. You guys cleaned us out a little bit, but I'm going to go with Damon Stoudemire.
That's not bad. Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse.
Good call.
Yep. And honestly, Damon and Roy, they would have been fun to watch those guys together. Damon could play off the ball a little bit, you know. If he again, we're talking ahead of his time.
I was just about to say that.
He
Yeah.
was fast, really, really fast and shifty.
Mighty
And
Mouse for a reason.
may have been able to do some of the things that Steph does as far as moving off the ball, which would have allowed Brandon Roy to bring the ball up.
Held the single game points record for the Blazers for
Mhm.
like almost 20 years or something until Lillard broke it a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
All right, with my number 4 pick, this is going to be tough because we just had this backcourt and it didn't work, but I'm still taking it.
No!
CJ McCollum.
Oh, no, he did it. I was not going to do that. That's kind of why I stayed away from Dame. I didn't want to fall for that trap.
I'll take those two with some defense and some scoring ability around them in the paint. Rasheed and
You
Bill
got
Walton
Sheed in there.
would have been able to anchor their defense, made up for some of those defensive inefficiencies. I had a few people I was choosing between, going with CJ.
I mean, the guy could score. Let's just put it that way. We saw that backcourt. That's a little worrisome for me, but
Went to the Western Conference Finals
with a lot worse
with
supporting
Cantor
cast.
and
Yeah. True, just
Myers
like
winning.
my backcourt did twice. On the note of defense, I am taking Scottie Pippen.
that was who I was
Yeah.
looking at on that list.
Pairing him with Clyde.
Clyde, Pippen, Aldridge is a very flexible 2 through 4. I really like what they can do on both ends of the floor, passing between them, athleticism, defense, shooting. Scottie and Clyde were hit and miss shooting, but I mean, you had Porter and LaMarcus, can spread the floor. So I really like that mix of players. And then, as my final pick to close it out, because we do need more of that shooting, I'm taking Cliff Robinson as my center. Uncle Cliffy,
As
yeah.
a center. Wow.
Well, yeah, he's 6'10". He was, as you guys have said, ahead of his time. He was ahead of his time. He was a stretch big. He could hit threes on anybody. Athletic, could do it all, could play defense. That shooting ability, I think it just rounds out my starting 5 perfectly.
I think I'm just going to take this guy just out of closest to my heart. I loved him. He was one of my first favorite players.
Nicola Batum.
No.
No, okay.
Steve Smith.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah. The man
Toughness,
could shoot.
smart. I think he's the perfect complementary piece. Maybe he could, this time, him and Dame could calm down Rasheed Wallace.
Are you playing him at
The
small
three.
forward?
Yeah.
He got hacked in the Western Conference Finals, and would have made free throws.
We
to win
don't
the
like to
game.
relive that.
He was definitely the leader of that team. In a lot of
PTSD
ways.
warning. Don't
Emotionally,
say
him
that.
and Dame, that's two good heads on that team. Bill Walton, Rasheed Wallace, Steve Smith, CJ McCollum, Damian Lillard. I'll take it.
I can't believe the man fell this low on the list, so I will ecstatically take Jerome Kersey.
Yeah.
as my
Mercy,
small
mercy.
forward.
I thought about taking Jerome Kersey over Scottie Pippen, but I
You
just
put Jerome Kersey and Buck Williams together with Stoudemire, Roy, and Sabonis for the finesse. I feel real good about my team.
honestly, the Blazers have had so many great players. It's hard to look at any of these three rosters and say that, they're bad. Obviously, mine is the best by far,
Okay.
but
Yeah,
You know.
LaMarcus would have got it done.
Yeah.
You put
you
LaMarcus.
put Scottie Pippen in his ear, you don't think he's
your
going to get it
go-to
done?
player down the stretch. Come on.
All I'm gonna say is you put
Terry
LaMarcus
Porter is the go-to.
Aldridge and and Uncle Cliffy on the same team, both of whom disappeared in the playoffs.
I'm just going to say you passed on Walton twice, so I don't know about your
Your
credibility with
teams
that.
both suck. Mine's the best team. What do you guys think? Which one's the best team? Also, if you guys want to build your own Blazers team, here's a graphic somewhere on the screen that has $15 where you can choose each position.
Spend wisely.
Yeah, spin wisely. Go ahead and leave it in the comments. What's your team? And thanks for watching from the logo.
Bye.